Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome to the podcast where energy meets the divine. I'm excited to answer questions that are available. Thank you to all the wonderful people who visit my website, energyintuitive.com, and leave a voicemail message on the podcast page. Thank you so much. Before we get started, before I go to the voicemail and start listening to all the lovely questions and giving my intuitive perception, a lot of people have asked me when I'm reading for someone, and I've read for many thousands of people around the world over the last 25 plus years as a full-time intuitive and psychic, specializing in medicine and medium communication. But I can pretty much answer any question. But if I can't, I will certainly say so. Some people are waiting, of course, for these answers because thankfully we have a lot of questions, which I just want you to know makes me very happy and fills my heart. I'm grateful that this is a way for me to give back to humanity, from the universe to humanity. And so people ask, they write into the website, what if I've already resolved my situation? I just want you to know that no matter where you are in that question, you will get the best response for you. You might get validated. Also, a lot of people don't change rapidly, unfortunately. Now, granted, I am, playing in the field of older soul type beings. And when they're doing inner work, they tend to move quicker. But most people don't change that quickly. So try not to worry how long ago it was that you left your question. The answer will be effective and efficient for you. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about Kundalini energy. It's this powerful energy source that originates outside of Earth. So it's not something that lives and breathes in trees or with moss. It is everywhere where it flows into Earth, but it didn't originate from Earth. It's kind of like a vibration that comes from the astral plane, which is the field right outside of Earth. So it's a powerful field of energy that allows for psychic phenomena to expand when a human being allows Kundalini to come into their body, which very few people do. I think it's a requirement for healers. That's just my personal opinion. I think Kundalini is such a powerful energy. It allows for healers to provide a lot more healing in another person's life or their own if they run Kundalini. So what allows it to open? So a lot of people don't run Kundalini in their body. And what allows it to move into the body is kind of a combination of things. There's almost like an initiation that occurs that most people are also not conscious of. So there has to be an elevation of awareness that's occurred for the human being. It doesn't have to be on any particular topic, just that there's some sort of awareness that has happened in this human being's body, mind, spirit. And at the same time, something kind of remarkable has happened in their life that's brought them some beautiful joy. It could be someone who's fallen in love for the very first time or fallen in love with a certain type of relationship. Because people can love their children, but not necessarily their partner. And maybe then someone falls in love with someone who has a partner type energy that can open up Kundalini. Seeing something incredibly beautiful and stunning, like visiting a phenomenal, beautiful art gallery that has pieces there that just sing to your soul, along with an elevated form of consciousness, making really healthy love while also having this rise in consciousness can allow Kundalini to move into the body. So when it moves in the body, it moves in through the front of the second chakra, which is right around the belly button area. It moves through the body, not out, but deep into the body. When it hits the spine, it starts to move up the spine in a figure eight pattern, a cobalt blue figure eight pattern. and then it moves into the back of the head at the occiput and activates psychic sight. When an individual starts to run Kundalini, they're going to feel a lot more orgasmic, if you will, even when they're looking at a tree. That's actually normal. It's normal to feel energy everywhere in your body. You don't have to scream or yell or breathe hard, but you're activating all of your senses when you run Kundalini energy in your body. And a lot of humans contract their energy. They don't want to be too happy. They're scared to feel impassioned. And then there are some people, I've certainly had maybe 10 in my practice, where they've opened up Kundalini. They didn't even know what it was, let's say, or they had never experienced it. And so they had this opening of Kundalini, which is wonderful, but they still have a fair amount of energy in their body that's trying to hold it back. And so when people are trying to hold back this powerful, free-flowing energy, I mean, think about an orgasm. You don't want to hold that back. You want to allow yourself to have the full adventure of that type of an experience. And so that's kind of what's happening, unconsciously to the individual. And then they start having kind of jerky pulsation experiences in their body. They start twitching or rocking back and forth, and not just for a little bit. It could last days or weeks or months. This is rare. I said maybe 10 people in my practice in the last 25 plus years, people who came to me, and most of them who came to me knew that they were having a Kundalini experience. And my job was to help their body relax so that the energy could flow smoothly. But typically people who tend to not let this energy flow well in their body are probably kind of internally controlling, either from like a rigid perspective or from a strong control perspective. And so this free-flowing, happy, high vibrational energy, they're trying to stifle it unconsciously. And so some people are afraid. They've maybe read stories about this. I mean, some of you might be hearing about this for the first time. And so they don't want Kundalini to be open in their body. But I think you should always want it to be open in your body. Even the people, except for one person, didn't return after an initial session, who was actually in an energy healing school, and her Kundalini opened up. All of her classmates were thrilled for her. She was not so happy. So I'm not sure. I'm sure it resolved on its own. I just don't know how long it took. But for those people who've come to me who are having this swaying back and forth, or kind of feeling like this snake energy in their body, or just jerking, and they may feel like they can't go to work, Luckily, more people work from home. It probably took them, a few months to allow that natural flow of energy to dissipate its jerkiness, but they would have right away a decrease in the hard kind of sensation, so that it felt more manageable. But the main reason why I'm telling you this is energy is a very powerful force, no matter what it might be called or how it's affecting your body. And it's actually healthy and wonderful. We want to feel energy pulsating in our body as much as possible. So I'm just giving you a heads up, because now that you're listening to a podcast created by an energy worker and an intuitive, you might be opening up your own Kundalini because your consciousness is rising, your awareness is shifting, and you might have some powerful, wonderful experience. When I was in Italy, when I went to, the beautiful, just a second, what's it called? Oh, when I was in Italy and I went to the Vatican, I really didn't feel anything special, quite frankly. And we went early before there were crowds. I was with a friend whose husband gifted us a private tour, which was very kind. So it wasn't that there was too many people there. I just didn't feel a happy pulsation. I thought the painting was beautiful on the ceiling. It was gorgeous, but I didn't feel anything spiritual at all. I was actually kind of grumpy the whole time I was in there. It's like my energy was pretty low. But when I was hiking in another area of Italy, and I walked into a church that was kind of almost in a cave in a way. It was kind of crumbling on the outside. I didn't even know it was a church when I walked past it. When I walked into the church, I immediately started bawling, like beautiful, happy, gorgeous, sacred tears. And there were maybe 20 or 30 bouquets of fake flowers on the altar. So there wasn't anything fancy about this particular building that I walked into, but it was real. The vibration, the frequency there was real. It was palpable. It was sacred. It was a sacred place. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you start to allow energy to move in your body, Kundalini or not, you're going to start to become aware, if you haven't already, of the shift in vibration. There are sacred places that people believe are sacred all over the world, but they may not be sacred for you. It could be a lily pond full of lots of mud and beautiful pollywogs, that's your favorite sacred place. And that's where we recharge. That's also too, when things don't feel sacred to us, we don't want to put a lot of energy there for us. Even if everyone else in the world agrees or thinks that something is really sacred, that doesn't mean that it is. You want to be able to start to feel the flow of energy. And so you want to be able to start to feel it within yourself. Kundalini is kind of an extreme, or it can be. When I had my own personal awakening, I didn't have any shaking or tinges or any of those things, but I definitely felt more presence in my abdominal area. I definitely felt more energy in that part of my body. So don't be afraid of Kundalini. And if you begin to have an awakening in your body with this precious, powerful psychic energy, let it flow. That's what it's meant to do. Okay, I'm going to move on to the voicemails now.
Hi, Marie. My name is Bridget. I'm calling from Tennessee. I have 2 questions for you today. The first question is, I'm curious to learn how many spirit guides I have. And the second question is, I've been debating on whether to go back to school for a master's degree in mental health therapy and drama therapy. I'm getting signs that this is the right path I should take. However, I'm still a little bit hesitant, and I'm not sure why. And I was wondering if you could give me some clarity on that and let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much again for all you do, Maria, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Bridget. I think the reason why you're having a hesitation is because I don't think you should go to a regular university for mental health and trauma. Maybe, for part of your education, if you want to, just so you understand how that system works. But I think that you want specialty training from people who are more conscious and aware of the truth and the health and the well-being of a mental health person. Maybe find a naturopathic university that offers mental health training. I know Bastyr here in Seattle has its own psychology department and offers master's degrees and whatnot to their practitioners. But that's why you're feeling the hesitation, because you don't want to sit in classrooms learning historical ways to help people. You want to learn the new, updated, most powerful ways to positively affect trauma. And I'm going to go on to the next question. Thank you so much, Bridget.
Dear Marie, my name is Kirsten. I live in Denmark. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid autoimmune condition. I feel unwell and would love to know what my body needs in order to function better and also to sleep better. Also, what to do when my frustration about these things creates so much tension, like an extra layer of suffering. Thank you so much for your wisdom.
Thank you, Kirsten. And you are going to have to catch yourself when you feel annoyed, because there's been a lot of annoyance before this diagnosis occurred anyway. Hashimoto's, because it's about the thyroid, is about the 5th chakra and the fifth layer of your auric field. So the fifth chakra is about expressing your truth, which doesn't come from the mind, doesn't come from annoyance, it doesn't come from irritation. Even if someone has something in their life that's uncomfortable for them or they wish it would be different, truth is very calm and compassionate and surprising. It would be best if you spend some time in the lower half of your body before you express, so that you speak truth, not mind-made emotions. Yeah, so you're going to have to catch yourself and tell yourself that everything's okay when you feel annoyed and frustrated, so that you don't place yourself in victim consciousness. And I would definitely get a near infrared and red light panel. The reason why I talk about these two particular panels, and I haven't researched all of them, obviously, on the planet, platinum therapy or red rush, and no, they don't pay me to talk about them. It's because they're FDA approved and they're excellent quality panels, but they also do not omit UV light, which is what we don't want. We don't want ultraviolet light, to come through. We don't want that. So, in fact, Red Rush has one of the highest ratings of the least amount of UV light coming from a panel. But platinum therapy is quickly behind. The reason why I'm talking about these panels again and again, because they feed the mitochondria in the body. And when people have autoimmune disorders, their cells are tired and they're not functioning well in many cases. And the mitochondria, their job is to eat toxins. So the near infrared red light therapy feeds the mitochondria, gives the body ATP, which is the medical form of energy. And it's extremely effective in all kinds of health conditions. Many, many. Okay, I hope that's helpful.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I reside in Oil City, Pennsylvania. My question is, why does there have to be so much pain to pass over? For it's not death in itself that I fear, or what's on the other side, but the pain to get there. And how do I find out who my spirit guides are? I'd like to be able to know who watches over me from birth till death, so that maybe I can communicate with them.
Okay, Nicole, that's an interesting question. First of all, again, unfortunately, humans don't really know what's happening at the moment of death. Not really. Is there truly suffering occurring? I don't know if I've shared this story on this particular platform. I can't recall. I certainly have shared it in almost every class I teach when we talk about death and dying, or the other side, or the afterlife. When I was a new nurse, I had a patient who was in the facility I worked at, who was, she had had a stroke. And so I think she was brain dead, but she was dying. She was on hospice. They didn't expect her to recover. So she was getting minimal IV fluids and a morphine drip to keep her out of pain. But she moaned the whole time. And I think she'd been there by right around 6 days when I had this experience with her. Her son was staying in her apartment and he was visiting her in the facility during the day. I never met him. I worked evening shift and he was really concerned. I had read the SOAP charting that the son was very concerned that his mother was in pain, and we couldn't up her morphine because we'd already given her, we can't give her too much because it would kill her, even though she was dying. I know it's a complicated thing. Humans don't really understand spirituality, death or dying, especially in the form of medicine. So at any rate, I was walking down the hallway where this woman was, in her bed. And when I looked into her room, I thought she had already passed away. And I had a rule. I've had a couple of rules as a nurse. One, no one codes under my watch. That means no one codes. We either change their code status or we transfer them to critical care so that nobody codes. And that was true for me. When I was charge nurse, no one coded under my watch. And the other one is that nobody dies alone. So I was annoyed with myself that it appeared to me was a large private room, that this person wasn't breathing. So I walked over quickly to her bed, sat on the edge of it, put the earbuds, my stethoscope in my ears, and began to lean over to auscultate her lungs and her heart rate. And she woke up. She sat up straight in bed, gave me a hug, kissed me, told me that she was happy, having a wonderful time. She's with her husband, her sister, other family members. And again, she told me she loved me and kissed me and went back to sleep. So clearly she's not really in pain, even though her body's having some sort of experience. You know, her awareness and consciousness is not having that experience, and she had morphine on board. It could be that the body's just moving energy. You know, when energy has to leave the body, which is the whole reason why we have the death experience on Earth, is because we have to get the energy out of the human temple so we can cross to the other side. For how our consciousness is currently on Earth. In other words, as we become more conscious, that's not going to happen. We're just going to walk out of our bodies. So of course I called her son and told him my experience and charted the whole thing in the chart. And when I came to work the next morning, the morning charge nurse asked me if I had been stoned. And I said no. I told her I hadn't smoked pot since high school, which is still true to this day. And yeah, so don't let your human mind decide anything. Humans don't really know anything about what's going on. And that's why people should not listen to their brain, and they should listen to their intuition. You'll need to meditate about your spirit guides, but you'll have to get your energy elevated and in a high frequency so that you can just ask, please express to me whatever's in my highest good about spirit guides, and then let go of the question, rest in your glute muscles, wiggle your toes, and let the universe communicate to you. Thank you, Nicole.
Hi, Marie. This is Sandy from Pittsburgh. The other night, I was drifting off to sleep, and I felt the urge to open my eyes and look at the ceiling in my very dark room. And I started to see the darkness kind of swirling and churning, and gradually some flashes of blue and green swirling color was added to that. And I just felt this incredible energetic presence, possibly more than one, and realized I was receiving a profound energetic transmission. I was very paralyzed, and my eyes were very wide open. I felt a tear escape from my right eye, and I was not frightened. I did have your name flash in my head while it was happening, so I thought I would call to try to just get some insight from you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're very welcome, Sandy. What you had, in my opinion, is a normal experience. Normal. So congratulations for having a multisensory experience. It's a very loving, moving, emotional experience. It's very high vibration, and that's why sometimes people feel paralyzed because their energy is running at such a fast rate. It's kind of like being on a merry-go-round or Ferris wheel of some sort, and it's spinning quickly and you can't move your body. That you could, but the force is so intense, it's difficult to. So that was wonderful. Congratulations. That's normal. It's normal to have these experiences. It could have been your spirit guides, could have been a departed loved one, could have been, like you said, there definitely was more than one being, but the universe is trying to get you to understand what it feels like to connect with it so that you will allow yourself to connect. And I think why my name popped into your head is because I talk about things in a positive way, and the universe wanted you to keep your energy elevated so that you could continue the experience. If it happens again, although you said you got a download, I don't know if you were conscious of it or not, but I shouldn't say if, when it happens again, you might want to pay attention to where your energy was prior to the experience, because you want to emanate that experience again. You want to go do that thing again so that you can be in that place vibrationally so you can have more of those experiences. And you can always ask the universe if you don't know what you were receiving, if you're not conscious of the information, this phrase, please express to me whatever is in my highest good about the swirling energy on the ceiling. And then don't try to analyze the question, get out of your brain, rest in the lower half of your body and wait for more profound information to occur. Yeah, excellent. Good job.
Hi, Marie. It's Tara here from Canada. Hey, thank you for answering so many of our questions. I really appreciate it. Hey, I'm still very new to your work, but I have heard you talk a few times about how you love helping people follow their dreams and helping people realize their dreams. And that's a passion for you. So the question I have is, I'm struggling with what the dream actually is for me in terms of work. So I work in a corporate job. It's perfectly fine, pays the bills. It has great benefits. I'm actually really good at it. But I feel a real sense of disconnection from what I do. And it just feels, I'm not connected to it. It feels unimportant to me and to the world. It just feels like I'm missing something. And so I feel like I know how to manifest a dream when I have a vision or even part of a vision for something. So I am a visual person. So if I can picture something and focus on the feelings I would have, I can let go of the how and the when and all of that and just let it unfold. And I know it works. But the trouble I'm having is, like, some people seem to know what they want to do and they struggle to make it happen. For me, when it comes to my work, I just don't have that picture clarified. I don't know what my dream is. So I was wondering if you could provide any insight for me on how to figure out what my dream work would be, so then I can take the steps to create it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. No, it's not your corporate job. But for some people, their corporate job is their life path. It is their passion. Even if someone else thinks that it's not valuable or it's a waste of time, it doesn't really matter what people do in the world, by the way. I mean, when people discover what really turns them on and gets them excited, it doesn't matter what it is. The fact that they recognize that and allow it to unfold in their life and to feed them passionately, financially, emotionally is the goal. That's the goal in life. And the human race has not reached the tipping point where we allow individuals to manifest fulfilling careers. So what that means is that still too many humans, first of all, don't believe that people can be successful entrepreneurs or even have a job like mine and be successful or anything else. You know, they believe that you have to have a job like you or something that they learned at university, but that's not true. And so what we want more and more people like yourself to be curious and to follow inspiration when they see it, hear it, or feel it in some way, so that we can get a number of humans believing that people can have creative, fulfilling, rewarding careers, whatever that means to them. So we need to, it's probably a few million people, maybe even 30 million people have to actually believe that that's true and positive. And most Americans, because I can't speak for all other cultures, I've only, been a part of a couple of cultures. Most Americans feel that the complete opposite is true, that you have to follow these guidelines. You have to go to university. You have to choose wisely when you go to university. You can't choose anything creative or fun or playful. And that play and fun is not equated to success or a career that's going to feed you the bacon. But that's not true. That's a lie. And so what I heard when I was listening to you, and it doesn't mean that this is the thing. It could be. But you need to check out art. So when people are discovering what their alignment would be in terms of work or fulfillment or hobbies, I want you to play with it. Don't take it so seriously. Don't try to become Michelangelo by tomorrow. Don't do that. You don't know. I don't even know exactly what this means to you. It's an exploration. The journey is supposed to be the reward, because once you find what you love, that's wonderful and that's amazing. But getting there is supposed to be the end all. It's like having the career or having the golden goblet or the medal from the Olympics. That's like the icing on the cake for all the wonderful things one did in their journey. But the journey is where the power is, and the significant movement and the incredible surprises. So if it were me, I have heard that word art in my head my whole life, actually. And I have not discovered a significant modern form of art ability. I do love encaustic, and the pieces that I have here on my wall I made them with wax. But I do think my job is very artistic. I think to be psychic and an intuitive and help people, with the intuitive world is artistic. So I think this is my art. So don't try to look at it, the way everybody else looks at art. But I would, if it were me, I would take a pottery class. I would take a painting class, which I have done pretty much all of those things. I would watch YouTube videos on sketching and I would play with it. I would, walk in galleries. I would look at art books. I would allow, because if art isn't the thing for you, let's just say, or the normal definition of art, it is somehow going to open you up. Like it's part of the journey. And that's where people get confused. They are getting pieces that are part of the journey, but then people expect, oh no, this part has to be it. And then when it doesn't happen, they get annoyed and frustrated. And it could be it, but it's a journey. It's an absolute wonderful journey. One of my children, my oldest, who's an engineer, decided, I think like 5 years ago, that she doesn't want to be an engineer for the rest of her life. Yay. She's actually a really good artist, by the way, really talented. I always have told her she needs to have a place in her garage to go paint. Even if you just want to throw paint at an easel, who cares? She hasn't really quite done that. But she started to get creative. She studied flower arranging. She studied even wedding planning. This very well-known wedding planner wanted to hire her, but she didn't feel that, to those other things for her. Where she finally felt the energy, but she explored, she tried things out. She wasn't like, oh, I'm not going to be a florist, I'm wrong. She went, oh, that was interesting. That was kind of fun, but that didn't quite do it for me. So think of it as a journey. Again, art could be the thing for you, but I promise you it's part of the path. Yeah, my daughter found out that she really wants to help people with sleep problems, not sleep training. She's not a fan of that. And she's getting all kinds of certificates. She already has clients. She's doing great. I just have to get her to quit her engineering job. But I'm sure that will happen at the perfect moment for her. So I look at my oldest and she's in the journey. She's in the journey and she's having fun and it's fulfilling for her. It inspires her. That's how you know you're on the journey, because you're like, oh, what else is going to happen? What other curious, amazing thing is going to occur? So that's what I'm recommending for you. Tara, on to the next person.
Hi, Marie. Thanks for all your energy work you do for us. And thank you for starting these questions for everyone. It has been so helpful for us to learn. And I know the names don't matter to you, but I'm just going to call myself Baby. And I just had a question about when I have been meditating for quite a while, but when I am going to meditate, my body starts having convulsions. Like I can't stay concentrated on my meditation. I just want to scan my body and tell me what I can do to get myself even better and focus when I am meditating. Thank you for being a light of hope and grace for all of us who have been seeking. Thank you so much, and may God shower you with lots of blessings and your family. Bye.
Thank you, baby. That's very sweet. I wish that for all of us, that creation, God's source, showers us with blessings, all of us and our families too. So thank you. That was really beautiful. And I love that you said your name is Baby, because I was just talking about my daughter, and that's the population she works with, very young mothers and fathers. So just another nod from the universe going, which I already know she's on the right track, but I'm so happy for her. So you are a perfect representation of what I talked about at the beginning of the podcast, Kundalini energy. So when you start to meditate, you start to move Kundalini in your body. It's going to, in your case, it feels like a convulsion. It is not. You're not having a seizure. it's the Kundalini is trying to move, and you are probably controlling. You're a very strong woman. I know that for sure. And that's lovely. There's nothing wrong with being a strong man or woman or young person. Those can be very good qualities for an individual, but you're going to have to let go. So here's what I would do. If I were starting to meditate, and I would be thrilled if I was feeling convulsions, by the way, because I would know that I'm moving huge amounts of energy. So to me, I would be in bliss. I would not be scared. But if I were you, and this is not your norm and it's weird, I would let it rip. Don't try to control it. Don't get out of it. Laugh with it. Have fun with it. Play with it. Talk to it. Start to become friends with this powerful energy that's moving through your body. That means your consciousness has advanced. Congratulations. And now this powerful energy that opens up psychic ability and helps healers and mediums and all kinds of individuals to, improve their craft and to keep their body healthy and to move energy at other people's body in profound ways, is available to you. Yeah. So perfect question. Loved it. Thank you. One more, guys, because I have to go do other things. I can't just answer questions all day long, even though I obviously love to.
Hi, Marie. This is Tabitha. I'm from Pennsylvania. I just got finished watching your latest episode. I love your show. My question is concerning a health issue that I've been experiencing for, I'm not even sure how many years, but I have tinnitus in both of my ears. There are hearing problems that run on my mom's side of the family. And I'm just wondering they say there's no cure for it, but I'm just wondering the best way that I could handle dealing with this chronic condition. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I know a lot of people don't like the ringing in the ears. It's hormonally related. No matter what doctors or anybody else says, there's a big correlation between a shift in someone's hormones and having ringing in their ears or tinnitus. So I would have your hormones checked. And if you decide to take hormones, which you don't have to, not everyone's a good candidate for hormone replacement. If people have a long history in their family or within themselves of cancer, some hormones feed some cancer. So those people are not good candidates for hormone replacement. But if you decide to, and you are a good candidate, only compounded hormones from a compounded pharmacist, not modern medicines, synthetic or weird horse urine hormones. Yeah, no, not those. And what this really means on an energetic level is you're not listening to the universe, because the third eye governs all of the human senses. So your ears, your sense of smell and taste, and your eyes are all connected to the sixth chakra. So it means literally you're not listening to the universe. That means you're not listening to your spirit guides. And it may not be like, yeah, it is. They're telling me it's big. You're not listening because you've been asking for so long. So you have to practice quieting yourself. Maybe focus on the ringing. Like do some meditation and focus on it because it's there. Utilize it. Use it. Let it be useful and powerful. Nothing terrible is happening to you just because some people in your family have some hearing loss. Doesn't mean you will. Having ringing in the ears is not an indicator of hearing loss for most people. So find out about your hormones. And even say to the universe, I'm willing to hear, feel, see, know, whatever you want to communicate to me. And I'm so grateful that I'm getting out of the way so I can allow it to happen. That's what I would do. Okay. Thank you so much, Tabitha. Everybody have a beautiful, beautiful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Today is June 19th in the Pacific Northwest. Okay. Bye-bye.